Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, we're going to go back 75 years this hour, September 13th, 1948. We'll have an episode of Quiet Please. We'll have some Lum and Abner. And yes, for our friend in Boston, Jimmy in Boston, some My Friend Irma. That's all straight ahead here. On this September 13th, this is the 256th day of 2023, 109 days remaining in the year. The most popular song 75 years ago today would certainly be thought politically incorrect today. But on this date in 1943, 80 years ago today, Chiang Kai-shek became president of China. Republican Margaret Chase Smith of Maine elected to the Senate on this date in 1948, becoming the first woman to have served in both houses of Congress. In 1971, the four-day revolt at the maximum security prison in Attica, New York ended. State police and National Guardsmen stormed the facility. 42 people died. Hurricane Gilbert, the strongest recorded hurricane in the Western Hemisphere based on barometric pressure in 1988. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, PLO Chairman Yasser Arafat shook hands after signing an historic peace agreement. NBC's Frasier won a record fifth consecutive Emmy on this date in 1998 as Best Comedy Series on Television. Secretary of State Colin Powell named Osama bin Laden the prime suspect in the 2001 terror attacks on the U.S. Limited commercial flights resumed on this date for the first time in 2 days. And World Wrestling Entertainment SmackDown, broadcast live from Houston, Texas, became the first major sports event to take place following those attacks. Hurricane Ike made landfall on the Texas coast on this date in 2008, causing heavy damage to Galveston Island, Houston, and the surrounding areas. 2018, the Merrimack Valley gas explosions, 1 person killed, 25 injured, 40 homes destroyed when excessive natural gas pressure caused fires and explosions. We mentioned the top song on this date in 1947, An Unlikely Country Swing Tune by Tex Williams.
Now, I'm a fellow with a heart of gold, with the ways of a gentleman, I've been told, the kind of a feller that wouldn't even harm a flea. But if me and a certain character met, a guy that invented the cigarette, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree. Of course, it ain't 'cause I don't smoke myself, and I don't reckon they hinder your health. I've smoked them all my life, and I ain't dead yet. But nicotine slaves are all the same at a petting party or a poker game. Everything's gotta stop while they smokes a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait. You've gotta have another cigarette.
A lot of folks recorded that song, including, we remember Phil Harris did. But Tex Williams had the big hit with Smoke, Smoke, Smoke That Cigarette, Capitol Records' first #1 million seller on this date in 1947. Passing away on this date in history, rapper, producer, actor Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas. Also, Governor George Wallace, the 45th governor of Alabama. Also, Dorothy McGuire and singer Eddie Money. Birthdays on this date include Walter Reed, physician biologist, the hospital in Washington named after him. Also, chocolate entrepreneur Milton Hershey, actress Claudette Colbert, singer Bill Monroe, the man behind James and the Giant Peach, the BFG, Matilda, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl, born on this date, vocalist Dick Hames, actress and singer Nell Carter, and the Velvet Fog, Mel Torme.
You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Mel Torme, born on this date in history. Miss Manners, Judith Martin, born on this date. The lead singer for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, David Clayton Thomas.
1973.
I lost that love before, got mad and closed the door, but you said, child, just once more. I chose you for the one, now we're having so much fun. You treated me so kind, I'm about to lose my mind. You made me so very happy, I'm so glad you came into my life.
The big hit for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, David Clayton Thomas, the lead singer, born on this date. Singer Jacqueline Bisset. Chicago's Peter Cetera.
1986.
Next time I fall in love, I'll know better what to do. Next time I fall in love, the next time I fall in love, the next time I fall in love, it will be with you.
Peter Cetera, 78 today. Jean Smart of Designing Women, born on this date, as was Medea, Tyler Perry. Singer Fiona Apple from Boy Meets World, Ben Savage, and the WWE's Baron Corbin, also born on this date in history. Though some of the people celebrating the 13th day of September is their birthday, if this is your birthday,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
we'll start off by spooking you this hour with an episode of Quiet Please from September 13th, 1948, 75 years ago, in just a moment. A very, very spooky radio show, Quiet Please. We have a lot of the shows, but they're not all in very good shape, as you'll hear in this episode of Quiet Please, September 13th, 1948, entitled The Symphony in Minor.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents Quiet Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and which features Ernest Chappell. Quiet Please for tonight is called Symphony in D Minor.
Personally, I believe in the law of the jungle. I believe that the fight goes to the strong, to the one that's smarter, to the one that ought to win. I've made my way in life that way. You can't tell me anything different. I never got past high school myself. I had too much to do to waste time going to college. Gad, I did it. I've got just about everything I ever wanted. What I haven't got yet, I'll get. The only thing I ask of anybody is get out of my way. Either that or get out of my way. One-sided or wheel off. That's my motto. Friend, I may take a wheel off just for good luck. Let's not have any misunderstandings about me. I'm tough, and I know it. I got nothing against you. If I had, you wouldn't be just sitting there listening. You'd be out of luck, like a like a certain party is going to be one of these days very soon, which I'm going to tell you about shortly. Look, friend, don't get the idea that just because I'm tough, I'm not smart. Because I am. Because I'm going to show you shortly just how smart I am. You want to hear? Good. Last night I was a guest in his house. A very interesting evening. You see, he's a psychologist, a very smart man, degrees, honors, knowledge. A beautiful wife. And black glasses. Yeah, that's right, he's blind. Very convenient for certain parties. For example, a party named Carol, his wife. For a party named Ray, it's me. See what I mean, friend? You don't? Yeah, you will shortly. He was sitting on a blue Davenport. Oh, I didn't tell you his name, Johannes. I'll just call him Johannes so you'll not get too much of a line on him. I wouldn't want anybody to slip him any information he shouldn't have, you know. Well, he was sitting on the blue Davenport. Carol was upstairs finishing a radio script. Yeah, she's very smart. But she'll have to stop that after she marries me. I don't want any wife of mine working. So anyway, Johannes and I were sitting there, batting a breeze, as you'd say in the Quartermaster Corps. I was bored, but Johannes wasn't. He just keeps right on talking.
Different whether you believe it or not, Ray. It's a scientific fact. And I have occasion to use it a great deal.
It's bunk. Like all the rest of this psychology racket.
I'm not going to try to convince you.
Oh, you can't convince me.
I could, though.
Look, Johannes, I don't believe in it. And even if I did, I know you can't hypnotize a person against his will.
You think so?
I know so.
You want to try a little experiment?
No.
Well, there's no point in it. You're sure a man can't be hypnotized if he doesn't want to be?
Sure.
Well, I won't argue with you. Look, hand me that push button on the extension cord there by the desk.
This?
By the desk.
This is the only thing... Is that it? Here.
Thank you.
What's it for?
It's a gadget I have. Listen.
What's that?
Make you sleepy?
Oh, it hurts my ears.
Might make you sleepy. Has a very interesting sound. Listen to it carefully, Ray. See if it doesn't give you a kind of heavy, drowsy feeling. Make you want to just lie back and shut your eyes and think about sleeping.
It's a lot of bunk.
So many people find it's an ideal way to go to sleep. It's better than sleeping pills. It's better than a soft feather bed. Just relaxes your mind so you can't think of anything but just going to sleep.
I wish you'd turn it off.
I can go to sleep in 30 seconds with it if I want to. You could, too. You could sleep right away if you wanted to. If you'd relax. That's it. You're getting sleepy already, aren't you?
I am not.
Nothing like sleep. Nothing like relaxing back in that nice, soft, easy chair and letting your head fall back and taking deep breaths. Deep breaths the way you do when you're asleep. Take 5 deep breaths, Ray. See what happens.
There's a lot of nonsense.
No, it's good sense, Ray. Try sleeping. Make you feel better. Shut your eyes and listen to that sound. Relax. Breathe deeply. Take it easy. And sleep. And sleep. And sleep. And sleep.
And I was so bored I just dropped off to sleep a minute while he was mumbling away. I wasn't asleep a minute, but you know how it is. You get bored listening to somebody yada-da-yada-da, and, yeah, you know. I woke up when Carol opened the door and came in. I got right up out of my chair. She startled me, I guess. I never was so glad to see anybody. I was bored with Johannes. And the funniest thing happened. Johannes whistled, and I walked right over to Carol without thinking what I was doing, and I kissed her. Now, why the devil did I do that? I said, kind of stupid, because I was scared right in front of him. And Johannes nearly had a fit rapping.
Said you couldn't be hypnotized, Ray.
What are you talking about?
You were out like a light, my friend.
I was not.
And I gave you a post-hypnotic suggestion that when I whistled, you were to kiss Carol.
Are you kidding, Johannes?
Of course I am not kidding. You're the most natural hypnotic subject I've ever run across. Why, you can be hypnotized at the drop of a hat without even knowing it.
What do you think of that? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think this character, Johannes, is smarter than I thought he was. Not smarter than I am, certainly, but smart. Even though he doesn't suspect anything, and even though he can't see, I have got to be careful. Haven't I, Carol? I'll see you tonight about 7:45, huh? It sure is too bad your husband can't go to the theater with us, isn't it? I go in, I sit down, and I look at Johannes. I give him a very large, affable hello. I say, well, how you doing, Svengali?
I hope you didn't mind that little experiment last night, Ray.
No, it was very interesting and instructive, Johannes.
Yes, it was. Very instructive.
Yeah, I should say so. I'm going to watch out for you.
Hmm?
I don't want to be stretched out over 2 chairs with people breaking rocks on my chest. I saw that once when I was a kid in a vaudeville show.
Oh, I don't do things like that.
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
Hey, now.
You asleep, Ray?
Yes. I'm asleep.
You went to sleep very easily this time, didn't you?
Yes. You told me last night to go to sleep whenever I heard that sound.
You didn't like the sound.
No, I didn't. But I do now. It puts me to sleep.
You know you're to do anything I tell you to do.
Oh, yeah, sure.
If I told you to bark like a dog, or sing for me, that's enough. And tell me the truth about everything.
Oh, yes, Johannes.
What about Carol?
I'm going to take her away from you, Johannes.
That's what you said last night.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Do you love her, Ray?
Not especially. But she's pretty, and I'd rather have her than to have you have her.
She's my wife, Ray.
I know it.
Why, Ray, don't you think it's rather reprehensible to steal a man's wife? Especially a blind man who doesn't know what's going on?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Well, it is.
I guess it is if you say so, Johannes.
Does Carol love you, Ray?
She says she does.
I used to love her myself. Quite a great deal, as a matter of fact, Ray.
That's too bad.
But after what you told me last night and now, I realize that she's been playing me for a sucker. Hasn't she?
She sure has.
You think I should love her now?
No.
Well, I don't.
Good.
Ray, what would you do if your wife ran away with another man?
I haven't got a wife, Johannes. Yet.
But if you did have one who played you for a sucker the way Carol's played me, would you kill her?
Of course I'd kill her.
All right. Ray, you kill Carol.
All right. When?
Well, now, we don't want to get me mixed up in this little act of simple justice, do we, Ray?
Oh, no, of course not.
Well, then, we'll have to do it some time and some place when I'm not around.
All right, Johannes. You say when and where.
How about your place?
All right.
As a matter of fact, you and Carol weren't really going to the theater tonight, were you?
Oh, no, we're going out to a nightclub where we can be alone for a while.
I see. Well, Couldn't you stop by your place tonight?
All right. Stop by my place tonight.
Now, let's see. You're a music lover, aren't you, Ray?
Oh, yes.
And you have a phonograph.
And lots of records.
Help me to the piano.
All right. There. Feel it?
Yes, yes.
Sit down.
Let's see. You know this.
Oh, yes.
Symphony in D minor by Cesar Franck.
Symphony in D minor by Cesar Franck.
Well, when you get to your place, you put this symphony on the phonograph.
All right.
And when you come to this part...
When I come to that part...
You go and strangle Carol.
I go and strangle Carol.
Murder her.
Murder Carol.
That's right. When you hear this...
All right, Johannes. When I hear that, I murder Carol.
All right.
What are you playing, Ray? Oh, it's you, Johanna.
Sounds like a funeral hymn, a little. Doesn't it, Carol? Wake up, Ray.
This is better than going to the theater someplace. Isn't it, dear?
But I don't like being here, Ray.
Ah, it's all right. Don't you like listening to music?
I like listening to music, all right, darling, but do you realize there isn't any music?
What?
The machine stopped, sweetheart.
Oh. Well, I'll start it again. Kiss me first.
You turn on some more lights first.
Isn't it bright enough in here?
Creepy, Ray. I keep feeling as if something's going to happen.
Oh, don't be silly. What could happen?
Nothing, sweetheart. I just feel that way.
All right. That better?
Much better. Now you can kiss me.
Thanks. Oh, your lips are cold.
I tell you, I feel scary.
Oh, stop. Let's listen to the music.
I love Cesar Franck.
And me?
And me.
Okay.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Listen.
Never mind who this is. Just go to apartment 1603A at the address I gave you, and you'll find a woman murdered and the murderer there with her. That's right. Never mind, I know. Go at once, officer. You don't want to keep them waiting.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You could die to that music.
Carol, I love you.
Ray, I love you.
Car 32, apartment 1603A, 444 Stuber Street. Investigate. Car 32, apartment 1603A, 444 Stuber Street. Investigate. That is all.
Who is it?
Police officers.
What?
It's police officers.
Wait just a minute. What do you...
We had a call to investigate. What do you got all the lights off for?
Huh? Somebody blew out a fuse, officer.
I did, eh?
Right in the middle of a record we were playing.
Yeah.
The Cesar Franck D minor Symphony.
Hey, Curly, flash your light in here. Are you all right, lady?
Certainly I'm all right.
Well, that ain't the way we got it.
Well, that's the way it is.
Listen a minute. Your telephone, mister. No, wait. I'll get it.
Now, what the devil?
What in the world, Ray? Johannes.
Oh, well, the lights are back.
I'd better turn that off.
Wait a minute, Carol.
Somebody's playing a joke on you, mister. I hope.
Who was it?
Somebody wanted to know if the lady was dead. I said she certainly ain't. I says they was playing a Frank D. Minor's Sympathy and the fuse blew out. And then he hung up.
Johannes.
You want me to go lock him up? You know him?
No. Carol. I remember. Quick, turn off the record.
Oh, what's the matter?
Turn it off.
Hey, now, what are you going to do over there? What are you busting the records for, Mac?
Excuse me, officer. I just remembered something. Something a man didn't have time to tell me to forget. You see, even the smart boys forget. If he told me to forget that post-hypnotic suggestion of his about murdering Carol when I heard that music, he'd have been all right. I'd never have known the difference. He'd have had another chance at me. But he forgot to tell me. And so, he doesn't know what I know. He doesn't know what I'm going to do. Carol's in there talking to him now. Carol opened the window. Sure, I told her all about it. She's in it with me. She opened the window. A poor blind guy, a blind would-be murderer. Nobody will wonder much if a poor blind guy made a mistake and fell out a window. It's a long drop. Everybody will be so sorry. His poor wife. And me. And him, I bet. That's what you get for being too smart for your size, eh? Give a quarter to hear the line of talk that's going on in there now. Carol is sweet as pie. Johannes thinking fast while she sets it all up. You'd never suspect a thing. Oh, man, we're in. Give a quarter to know what they're saying in there. Must be good. That must be rich.
I won't fail the next time, Carol.
Oh, no, Johannes.
He didn't kill you, so you have to kill him.
Whatever you say, Johannes, I'll kill him.
It'll be a little poetic justice, won't it?
Oh, yes, Johannes.
You know that Frank D. minor theme, Carol?
Oh, yes. It's beautiful.
The one that was to be a signal for him to strangle you.
Oh, yes. The one that goes... Da, 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 da.
That's it. Whenever you hear that melody, Carol, you'll murder Ray.
Whenever I hear the music, I'll murder Ray.
Whenever.
Whenever.
You'll take a knife and stab him.
I'll take a knife and stab him.
When you hear... Come in. Forget it, Carol. Wake up.
Hi, hello, Ray.
All over. Too bad, Carol, wasn't it?
It's a shame.
Well, he never knew what hit him.
And we're both out of it nicely, darling.
Ain't it wonderful?
Oh, I just shudder to think what would have happened if that fuse hadn't blown out, though.
And if I hadn't remembered. Well, I'll never have to worry about that music again. It's so pretty. I hate to think what might...
Ray.
Huh?
I'm still afraid of it.
Oh, don't be silly.
I am.
Oh, stop it.
I never want to hear it again.
Well, you're going to hear it.
Ray, please.
Now, listen, baby, we might as well get this straight now.
Ray, please.
Listen, darling.
Ray, darling. What have I done?
The title of tonight's Quiet Please story was Symphony in D minor. It was written and directed by Willis Cooper, and the man who spoke to you was Ernest Chappell.
And Charita Bauer played Carol. James Van Dyke was Johannes, and the police officer was Pat O'Malley. As usual, music for Quiet Please, including the theme by Cesar Franck, is played by Albert Berman. Now, here is our writer-director, Willis Cooper.
They were all creations of my own again, nor did they represent anybody living or dead. As you already know, this is the last broadcast of Quiet Please on this network. I'm grateful to Bob Berman, our engineer, and to Al April, our very good sound effects technician, for their 63 weeks of help. For the further adventures of Quiet Please, I recommend you read your newspaper next Sunday.
And so from now on this network, I am quite quietly yours, Ernest Chappell.
This will be the last broadcast in the present series of Quiet Please. In its place for the next 4 weeks, Mutual will present over most of these stations a new series of dramatic programs dealing with atomic energy. Be sure to be with us at this time next week and the 3 weeks following for Mutual's new series on atomic energy. This program was heard in Canada through the facilities of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This is the world's largest network, the Mutual Broadcasting System.
As it was heard at 9:30 Eastern Time over Mutual on Monday, September 13th, 1948, the final episode on Mutual of Quiet Please. Quiet Please would move for the remainder of its run for, I think, another year over to the Blue Network. And I'm trying to remember if it was at that time, if it was still Blue or if it had actually been renamed to ABC. I can't recall precisely, but that gives you an idea of what's going on there. We'll continue in just a moment with the news of this date from Monday, September 13th, 1948. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening to Classic Radio Theater. This is Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox. Now let's listen to some of the news stories of the date from Monday, September 13th, 1948. President Truman will confer with Secretary of State Marshall on the tense international situation following a presidential lunch for the cabinet. Presidential Press Secretary Charles G. Ross told reporters Truman was having cabinet members in for one of his frequent Monday luncheons with them. He said Marshall will remain after the luncheon for a conference. Customarily, he confers with the president each Monday afternoon. Hurricane wind gusts up to 100 miles an hour struck Bermuda. Power lines blown down, streets were strewn with fallen tree limbs. Heavy rain whirled around in the shrill wind. More than 1,000 AFL maintenance men passed through CIO picket lines today in the first mass return to work in the 10-day Old California oil refinery workers strike. Calls of scab and jeers greeted the automobiles carrying 1,400 workers into the Richmond, California plant of the Standard Oil Company, but the only semblance of violence was a rock bounced off an auto top. Indian troops invaded the princely state of Hyderabad today. From all four sides, the declared purpose was to restore order. The Dominion soldiers, spearheaded with tanks and armored cars and covered with air support, advanced swiftly, mostly against negligible opposition. The Indian government's first communique on the invasion of Hyderabad reported tonight steady progress in all sectors. A law enforcement officer stood quietly by as religious cultists gave another exhibition of snake handling Sunday atop a Cumberland mountain on the Kentucky-Virginia state line, 15 miles from Harlan, Kentucky. Captain Ambrose Metcalf of the Harlan County Patrol present at the ceremony, but made no move to interfere. No sheriff's deputies or state police were present. State law in both Kentucky and Virginia bans snake handling in connection with religious ceremonies. The Russians charged today a shot was fired at the Soviet War Memorial in Berlin last night, that according to British authorities. Police scheduled a hearing today for two saxophone players, members of Albino Ray's dance band, charged with illegal possession of narcotics. The band itself left Akron Saturday night after completing an engagement, but the saxophonists, 18-year-old Joseph Maney and 24-year-old Sidney S. Greenwell, locked in jail. Captain Stephen J. McGowan of the Akron Police said he found Maney and Greenwell in a hotel room with 8 marijuana cigarettes and 4 hypodermic needles. A blonde girl was with them, he added, but she was later released. And Bob Hope back on the air tomorrow night with a new show, new cast, new product, and a new time. The Hope Show moves up 1 hour from 10 o'clock until 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Hope says it's practically a new deck. Everything's new but the Joker. No Jerry Colonna, no Vera Vague, not even the opening monologue. Doris Day, who was a top bright radio songstress even before Hope had to stop making cracks about Crosby's waistline. And the Les Brown Orchestra with a new sweet string section. Hope says this year the show's so new it may even stink, but if worse comes to worst, we still have hope. Though some of the day's top news stories is reported in the newspapers of Monday, September 13th, 1948. And coming up next here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we'll have an episode of My Friend Irma from that same date. Jimmy in Boston has been a great supporter of this radio program for some time, and now that we've moved strictly to podcasts, I know he still listens, and here's an episode of My Friend Irma, starring Marie Wilson, as it was broadcast on September 13th, 1948. A cast change here. Cathy Lewis was taken ill, and Joan Banks taking over the role of Jane. And Jimmy doesn't like Joan Banks, I don't think. But I think you will. This episode, September 13th, 1948, My Friend Irma.
For the safety of your smile, use Pepsodent twice a day. See your dentist twice a year. Lever Brothers Company presents the Pepsodent Show, My Friend Irma, created by Cy Howard and starring Marie Wilson as Irma with Joan Banks as Jane.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
About a plan for a world language that could be used by peoples of every nation. Me, Jane Stacy, I think it's a wonderful idea. It should bring a better understanding among all the countries. However, there's a chance the plan might fail. Why do I say that? Because I defy anyone speaking any language to understand my friend Irma. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my roommate, but there are times when I lose my patience. For instance, this morning I said, Irma.
Yes, Jane?
They've finally done it. They've developed an airplane to fly faster than sound.
Gosh, Jane, that's terrible.
Why?
Well, if two people riding in one of those airplanes try to carry on a conversation, they'd have to keep going back to find out what was said.
After that, I decided to change the subject before her head hit another air pocket. Besides, there are more important problems on my mind right now. Irma.
Yes, Jane?
I hate to keep reminding you, sweetie, but if we're ever going to straighten out our budget, you've got to cut down on this foolish spending of yours.
What do you mean, Jane?
Well, you waste your money on such ridiculous things. Like the time you bought those obsolete tennis rackets with no strings.
Well, I always miss the ball anyway. And besides, Jane, they're not wasted. You can always use them for fans.
Stringless tennis rackets for fans? Sweetie, there's nothing with which to circulate the air.
Well, that's why it's good. There's no draft. You can't catch cold.
I give up. Look, I don't want to run your life, Irma, and tell you how to spend your money, but you work hard for it, so I think you should only spend it on things that are practical.
Practical? You mean like shoes?
Yes, precisely.
Well, then, Jane, wait until you see the pair I bought this morning for only $2.
$2? Well, that's wonderful. That's what I call a real bargain. What are they like?
Oh, they're lovely. Gosh, I wish I had two left feet.
Oh, Irma.
Oh, gosh, don't be angry, Jane. The shoes look so lonely. No one would go near them.
Honey, I'm not angry. It's just that right now people should hang on to their money because we're in what's called an inflationary period. Do you understand, Irma, or shall I explain?
Oh, Jane, do you take me for a dummy?
Well, inflation is a situation where the value of an item remains the same, but the cost increases out of proportion. Is that clear?
Yes, but what has that to do with inflation?
Let me put it another way while I still have half my mind left. Irma, when you go to Mr. Holly's grocery store, how many quarts of milk could you buy in the past for 50 cents?
Well, let's see, 12.5 cents a bottle. I used to get $4 I used to get 4 bottles for 50 cents.
That's right. And how many bottles do you get now for 50 cents?
5.
5.
Yes, I know the clerk better.
Oh, Irma, you're just not getting the point of this discussion. Look, I'll bring the whole thing closer to home. How much money do we have in our joint checking account?
$200.
That's right. But that $200 today is only worth $50.
Only $50? Gee, I didn't know the banks charged that much interest just to hold it for us.
No, honey, it's only worth $50 because money won't buy as much today. The dollar is shrinking.
Is that fair to George Washington? Hey, Jane, don't hit your head against the wall. You'll crack the plaster.
Irma Peterson, I will try once more.
Okay, Jane, and this time I'll concentrate with my mind.
Honey, if you don't want to work with me, don't work against me. Look, forget what I said about inflation. Just try to cut down on your spending, and I'm sure we'll get along. We're not millionaires, but we're doing all right. We have $200 in the bank, and the only money we owe is on the piano. A $20 a month payment isn't too difficult, so if we don't make any foolish purchases, we'll be able to pay off the piano, and we'll get by.
But, gee, if the money is shrinking...
Yoo-hoo! Girls!
Irma, that sounds like Mrs. O'Reilly. Will you see what she wants, honey?
All right, Jane. What's the trouble, Miss O'Reilly?
Irma, darling, I'm locked out up here on the roof.
Oh, I'll be there in a second, Miss O'Reilly. I'll be right back, Jane.
Hello. Yes, Al. What? Tell Irma you'll be late? Where are you? Oh, at the unemployment office. Al, you sound dejected. What happened? You lost a dear friend? Oh, that's too bad. What did he die from? Oh, he didn't die. He got a job. Well, chin up, Al. It will never happen to you. Yes, I'll tell Irma. Goodbye. Come in.
Are you Miss Jane Stacy?
Yes?
I'm Mr. Woods of the Melody Piano Company.
Oh, Oh, yes, of course. I'll make out the check for our monthly payment right away. $20?
Before you make it out, Miss Stacy, I'd like to have you hear about the offer we're making to our installment buyers.
Oh, well, really, I'm not interested in buying anything else right now. You see, we still owe $500 on the piano,
That's just it, Miss Stacy. Our company is buying out a competitor, and we must have additional cash immediately. Therefore, we're trying to liquidate some of our accounts. So I'm prepared to make an offer whereby you can save $300 by paying off your account at once.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful business proposition.
Oh, it is. Are you interested?
Why, of course I am. Gee, I hate to go into our savings, but it's too good an opportunity to overlook. I'll give you a check right now. This breaks me, but I think I've got a bargain. Here you are.
Ah, thank you. The piano is now yours, paid in full. Here's your receipt. Good day.
Oh, baby, you're all ours. Come in.
Hello, Janie. Do you have some breadcrumbs I can borrow?
Well, sure, Mrs. O'Reilly.
I want to feed the pigeons.
Mrs. O'Reilly, I thought you hated pigeons.
I do. But I was drying my eyelashes on the windowsill and one of them flew away with them. Oh, this nesting time is ruining me eyes.
I see. Where's Irma?
She's still up on the roof. She was saying something about taking all of her money out of the bank and washing it in Lux because she didn't want it to shrink. What's it all about, Janie?
Oh, I never should have bothered her poor little head with that discussion on inflation. Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Janie and Mrs. O'Reilly. My two little trees. One a graceful willow, the other petrified forest.
Is that so?
Why, Professor.
Oh, excuse me, Janie. A little joke I picked up from a little Boy Scout. Say, Mrs. O'Reilly, I got a complaint to make.
What do you mean, complaint?
I want you to tell the people in the next apartment from me to shut off their fan at night. It keeps me awake.
How can a fan blowing in another room keep you awake?
It is blowing on my wall, and I have to lean against it all night to keep it from falling on my bed.
Oh, come now, Professor. The walls aren't that bad.
No? Then why is it when the man next door took a picture off his wall and pulled the nail out, my coat fell down?
Listen, Professor. I'm in no mood to do favors for anyone until I find out who locked me on the roof.
Mrs. O'Reilly, I did.
You? Why?
Well, you know that little flower box I keep up on the roof?
What about it?
Well, I planted tomatoes in it this summer, and the birds keep pecking at them.
And what does that have to do with me?
Well, no offense, Mrs. O'Reilly, but where could I find a better scarecrow?
Scarecrow, I'll show you.
No, please, Mrs. O'Reilly, you are supposed to be a lady, I think.
Why, you off-key hyphen.
Now, stop it, the two of you. I have some wonderful news I want to tell you. The Melody Piano Company just gave me a wonderful business proposition. I just paid off the piano.
But, Janie, I thought you owed $500.
I did, but Mr. Woods from the piano company settled for $200. Pretty smart business head on little Janie, huh?
Oh, I think that's wonderful, Janie. I always say people should own everything outright.
Except if you live in a room like mine. Then all you should own is a straitjacket.
Oh, hush up with you.
Oh, hello, everyone. Gee, it's so beautiful up on the roof. Scenery's so nice. I saw a big, huge oak tree. There was a squirrel in it. He was so cute. Kept staring at me so strangely. Did Al call Jane?
Yes, sweetie. He's on his way.
And so are we. Come on, Mrs. O'Reilly. I'll race you down the stairs.
Professor, you make me feel like a little child again.
Look who's a child. A remark like that could cause Mother Goose to kill herself.
Irma, I've got wonderful news for you. The man from the piano company was just here. Come in.
Hello, Jane. Hiya, chicken.
Hello, Al, honey.
Hello, Al. Look, kids, I know you two are in love with each other and would like to be alone. And personally, I prefer it that way. See you around.
What's the matter with her?
Oh, she's worried about our bank account.
Your bank account?
Yes, Jane says it's shrinking all the time. It's something called inflammation.
Inflammation?
Yes, everybody knows about it. It's something where the price is the same, but the cost goes up because you pay less and therefore pay more and have less, I think.
No, chicken, you mean inflation. Works very simply. We'll explain. A few years ago, you walked into the corner store, laid down $1, and walked out with a pair of nylons, right?
Right, Al.
Now, suppose you walked into that same store today and laid down $1. What would you get?
A cherry pie. There's a bakery there now.
No, chicken, let me lay it out for you. You see, we are now in a period of uncertainty where no one knows what can happen to our money. But we have had panics before. I believe it was in 1893. Things were so desperate, the Treasurer of the United States was empowered to act whenever the gravity of the situation demanded it. This was to become known as the law of gravity.
Al, to think I might have gone around with a stupid fellow.
Well, chicken, you just happen to be lucky.
Oh, yes, Al, I guess I was just born with a horseshoe in my head. But, Al, going around with such an intelligent person has got me thinking.
Now, wait a minute, chicken. You're lucky, but don't be desperate.
No, Al, I've learned a great deal from you and Jane, and I'm going to do something about it. Goodbye, Al.
Where are you going, chicken?
Oh, Jane and I have $200 in the bank, and I'm not going to stand around and watch it shrink. I'll be Jane's lifesaver. Goodbye.
Now, wait, chicken.
Al, I've never thought clearer in my life. I know exactly where I'm going.
Chicken, come out. You're in the closet.
Irma, honey.
Hiya, Jane.
Oh, well, it's you on the sofa. I thought it was the laundry bag. Where's Irma?
She went out. Said she was going to be your lifesaver.
Lifesaver? I don't understand that. Hello.
Hello, Jane.
Irma, where are you?
Jane, I just left the bank, but you don't have to worry about our money shrinking.
That's good, Irma. What did you do?
I took it out.
Oh, Irma. Irma!
Oh, I knew you'd be thrilled, Jane. Goodbye.
Jane, what's wrong? Your eyes are popping.
I just gave the piano man a check for $200, and Irma just took the money out of the bank.
Holy mackerel. So that's what she did.
That's what she did.
Well, Irma's only trying to be your lifesaver.
Lifesaver? She's no lifesaver.
Well, sure she is, Jane.
How can you say that? Just because she's sweet?
Well, partly. But most of the time it's because she sounds like she's got a hole in her head.
Your winning smile is a Pepsodent smile. Again and again, people have found it true. The smile that wins is the Pepsodent smile.
Here's a story that proves it. The true experience of Judy Barron. A young dancer from Rochester, New York, Judy was auditioning for a part in a musical show in Miami. After watching dozens of girls try out, the director pointed to Judy and said these magic words. There's the girl, that one with the Pepsodent smile. Yes, Judy's smile won the part for her. A big step toward fame and fortune. Judy Barron told us herself.
The director was right, too. My smile is a Pepsodent smile. I always use Pepsodent toothpaste.
Like Judy Barron, people all over America agree. The smile that wins is the Pepsodent smile. In recent comparison tests, thousands of people preferred Pepsodent with Irium over the brands they'd been using at home. Yes, Pepsodent won by the overwhelming average of 3-1 for its cool, minty taste, for making breath cleaner and teeth brighter. Try new Pepsodent toothpaste with Irium, and you will see the smile that wins is the Pepsodent smile.
Well, Irma has drawn all our money out of the bank just when I've given a man a check for the entire amount. Let's see, I'm 24 now. With a smart lawyer and time off for good behavior, I'll be 29 when I get out. Al.
What, Jane?
You know her as well as I do. You love her as much as I do. Just tell me, what makes Irma do these things?
I don't know, Jane. They say a woman has a right to change her mind. And I think Irma should change hers for anything she can get. Now, please understand me. I'm nuts about the girl. It's just that I'm plenty worried about what our kids will be like. You know, what they call prenatal influence.
I don't know, Al. Sometimes I think it's my fault, and yet how can I be patient with her? She's so gullible. Yesterday, I sent her out for a half a chicken. She paid $6.
$6? How'd you get clipped like that?
She says the man told her the chicken was raised on the Mason-Dixon line, and she was getting the half with the southern exposure.
Know what you mean, Jane. It was like the time she paid $5 for that bottle of perfume. She said it was called Flirt. Turned out to be Flit.
Al, I just had a horrible thought.
What, Jane?
You don't think with our $200 she'd buy anything?
Oh, no. No, she wouldn't. Unless, of course, she happens to walk past some of them clip joints on Main Street.
Hello?
Hello, Jane.
Irma, honey, where are you?
Shopping on Main Street.
Oh, no.
Jane, sit down. Wait, I'll get you some water. Chicken, hurry home. Goodbye. Breathe deeply, Jane, deeply.
All our money. And there's a check out against it. Oh, Al.
Cannot understand that chicken. The way she goes around in circles, I could swear she was born in a Mixmaster. Come in.
It's only me again, Professor Kropotkin. What's the matter with little Jamie?
Irma took the $200 the girls had in the joint account, and she's loose on Main Street.
Main Street? Janie, you should know better than to let Irma shop.
Well, I only have myself to blame. I must have frightened her with all that talk about inflation. I should never have mentioned that stupid subject.
Please, Janie, inflation is not stupid. Either you give in to it, or else you can fight it. We at the Gypsy Tea Room, we are fighting it. We don't raise the prices. We just water the soup. In fact, we have put so much water in our soup, if you study a bowl closely, you can see the tide go in and out.
Oh, if she'd only bring the money home. Irma.
Oh, Jane, I took a cab home because I'm so anxious to tell you the wonderful news.
Irma, just tell me one thing. Have you got the money?
Who wants money? It shrinks. I was sitting on a bench thinking about what you said about inflation, Jane.
Yes?
And a nice man came over. He said hello, and I said I had $200 that was troubling me.
Take some more water, Jane.
Imagine that was all I said, and he took an immediate interest in my problem. Men are so thoughtful.
Jane, that's enough aspirin. You'll kill your lunch.
So he sent me to his brother on Main Street.
Irma, while I still have the strength to ask, what did you buy?
For $200, I got the sister diamond to the Hope diamond.
The sister diamond to the Hope diamond?
Yes, the man says it's the Wish diamond.
You mean you wish it was a diamond? Let me see it.
Here it is.
Irma, how much does this so-called diamond weigh?
A half pound. Look, isn't it beautiful?
Irma, honey, can't you see this is just a piece of glass?
Glass?
Certainly. Who ever heard of buying a half-pound diamond for $200?
Well, the man said normally they're much higher, but he was selling them cheap because they're last year's diamonds.
Chicken, I'm afraid you've been took.
Well, maybe I should have taken the other diamond, but there was a flaw in it.
A flaw?
Yes, every time you shook it, snow would fall on the little man inside.
Oh, Irma, I told you not to shop. Every cent we had in the world. And besides that, I've used that $200 to pay off the piano. How could you be such a stupid businesswoman?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jane.
Sorry? You're always sorry. You were sorry that time we had the party and you put chloroform in the coffee because I said I wanted everyone to relax. You were sorry that time we had the party and you put chloroform in the coffee because I said I wanted everyone to relax. You were sorry when you put the starch in my mouthwash because I said I wanted to keep a stiff
Janie, I can't stand my two little sweethearts to argue. Irma thought she was doing the right thing. So, if you want, I'll take her back to Main Street and try to get her money back.
No, Professor. Chicken is my problem, too.
Now, wait a minute, all of you. You may all think I'm mean, but I love Irma as much as all of you. I think Irma does these things because we pamper her too much. We don't give her any sense of responsibility. Well, here's a chance for her to stand on her own 2 feet. Irma, I want you to take this fillet of plate glass back to the store and get the $200 so I can make good the check I gave Mr. Woods of the piano company. And I mean it.
But Jane...
Don't but Jane me. Fortunately, I am a good businesswoman. I paid off the piano for $200. Now you go get that money back or I'll go to jail.
Oh, all right, Jane. Gee, I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. But the man in the store is going to be very angry. He said cultured diamonds are very hard to get and they seldom grow this big. That's why he gave me a short guarantee.
Short? How short?
What time is it, Jane?
2 o'clock?
Oh, I think the guarantee is expired. I better hurry.
Well, Janie, I think you showed good judgment in letting Irma take it back herself. It may make her a little more cagey. And speaking of cages, I think I'll go back to my room.
Oh, gee, Al, after I made such a good business deal by paying off the piano for only $200. I'm so embarrassed. I think I'd better call Mr. Woods and ask him to hold that check until I'm sure. Come in.
Miss Stacy?
Yes, I'm Miss Stacy.
Well, I'm Mr. Darrow from the Melody Piano Company. I'm here to collect the monthly payment.
What?
Yes, according to my records here, it's $20.
Oh, well, there must be some mistake. I've already paid $200 in full to your other collector, Mr. Woods.
Oh, so Woods has been here, too. Oh, Miss Stacy, I'm very sorry, but that man's an imposter. He has no connection at all with our company. He's worked this same racket on some of our other customers.
Al, did you hear that? This is wonderful.
I don't understand.
You wouldn't. Here's your $20. Good day. Oh, Al, isn't it wonderful?
How do you like that chicken? If she hadn't taken the money out of the bank, that crook would have cashed the check and you'd be out 200 clams. What a gal. What an intuition.
Well, I don't know what it is, Al, but she certainly pulled the bacon out of the fire. Oh, gee, Al.
What, Jane?
You know, maybe we're not giving Irma enough credit. In all her confusion, she might be smarter than all of us.
On the surface, no. But you know, Jane, genius is often buried deep. In Chicken's case, there was a cave-in. But finally, it's come to the surface. And I think we got a gusher in that kid.
Well, here I am. Irma, darling, we were waiting for you. Did you get the money back?
Why, of course, and I had some time. It was so tempting because he had another big special.
What was it?
Pearls, a whole bucket full.
Irma, you didn't buy them.
No, I think it was a second-hand bucket.
Irma, we're all out of aspirin. Just tell me, did he give you the money?
Yes, and because I knew what you would do, Jane, I went right to the bank.
Oh, no.
But I didn't put the money in.
Oh, good.
Because while I was standing in line, the man in front of me was holding your check. His name was Mr. Woods.
Oh, no.
So I figured there was no point in putting the check in.
Oh, good.
So I just gave Mr. Woods the $200, and here's your check.
Oh, Irma.
Oh, murder.
Gosh, I'm the only one seems happy.
Well, kids, there's only one man who can help us.
Who, Al?
Who else but... Hello, Joe. Al, got a problem. Jane and Irma have been swindled. No, Joe, not by any of your boys. This was an outside job. A guy by the name of Woods took him for $200, all the dough the girls had in the world. What do you advise? Uh-huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Thanks, Joe. You're the kind of a man who will leave his mark in the world. Huh? That's what's keeping you awake nights? You're trying to erase those fingerprints? Ah, Joe, you're an exceptional humanitarian. Goodbye, noble friend. Well, girls, you got nothing to worry about. Joe is going to get your money back from Mr. Woods.
Al, is there going to be any violence?
Let us not describe it as violence. Let us just say that Joe is sending out 2 superstitious men.
What do you mean, superstitious?
These gentlemen are going to knock on woods.
Your winning smile is a Pepsodent smile. Again and again, people have found the smile that wins is the Pepsodent smile. That's borne out by the vote of thousands who tried new Pepsodent toothpaste with Irium in a recent nationwide test. These people were given plain, unlabeled tubes of Pepsodent and were asked to compare it with the brands they were using at home. When their votes came in, Pepsodent won by the overwhelming average of 3-1. These people say new Pepsodent tastes better, makes their breath cleaner and their teeth brighter than any other toothpaste they tried. Remember, that's not just our opinion. That's what people say. They say it 3-1. They've seen Pepsodent with Irium remove the film that makes teeth look dull, uncover new brightness in their smiles. Try it, and you will see the smile that wins is the Pepsodent smile.
Back, and I'm so happy. I'm almost beginning to like Joe. And never again will I discuss inflation with Irma. However, Irma is now certain that inflation has already arrived. So I said, Irma, what makes you so certain inflation is here? And Irma said,
Well, this morning I asked a man to change $1.
Yes?
I got 10 dimes. I can remember when you only got 4 quarters.
Well, they say money talks, and if it does, I'm sure it makes more sense than My Friend Irma.
My Friend Irma is produced and directed by Cy Howard. Park Levy writes the script with Stanley Adams and Roland McLean. And it's brought to you by Pepsodent Toothpaste with Irium, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company. Marie Wilson is starred as Irma with Joan Banks as Jane. The part of Al was played by John Brown. Hans Conried was heard as Professor Kropotkin and Gloria Gordon as Mrs. O'Reilly. Music was under the direction of Bud Gluskin. This is Wendell Niles reminding you to tune in 1 hour earlier next week and listen to the Lux Radio Theater, followed by the Pepsodent show, My Friend Irma. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
May 13th, 1948, My Friend Irma here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And we'll get on the road to Las Vegas with Lum and Abner in just a moment. Now on Classic Radio Theater, thanks to Ted at RadioMemories.com, an episode of Lum and Abner as they head toward Las Vegas. This from September 13th, 1948.
That's our ring. Time for Lum and Abner, brought to you by the makers of Alka-Seltzer. Well, another week is underway, and I'm wondering, friends, did a headache spoil your day, or did someone in your family have one? Well, remember, there's no need to suffer along with that headache pain. Instead, get pleasant, really fast relief the easy Alka-Seltzer way. Yes, just drop 1 or 2 Alka-Seltzer tablets into a glass of water, listen to it fizz, then drink it down. You'll be surprised how soon you begin to feel better. You see, Alka-Seltzer is completely dissolved before you drink it. So the pain-relieving analgesic sodium acetyl salicylate is ready to go to work instantly. And because of its effervescent base, yes, because of that fizz, mind you, Alka-Seltzer gets there fast, gives really fast relief. Take Alka-Seltzer next time headache pain causes discomfort, and you'll agree with the thousands who say, when it comes to fast relief from a headache, there's nothing quite like Alka-Seltzer. Get Alka-Seltzer from your druggist. Make it 2 packages and always keep an extra package on hand. Now, that's good advice. And if you'll heed it, you'll have Alka-Seltzer when you need it. And now let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, as the train was pulling out to take Abner and Elizabeth on their trip to a Las Vegas dude ranch, Abner got excited and jumped off the train by mistake. So now he's planning to make the trip by car along with Lum, Cedric, and Grandpap. As we look in on the little community today, we find Cedric helping Abner to get the car packed. Listen.
Well, come on, hurry up. Let's get the car loaded here. We can't go to Las Vegas standing around here this way.
Oh, Mr. Abner, Mama wanted me to ask you if it was sure enough all right for me to go along on this trip.
Why, of course it's all right, Cedric.
Well, Mama wanted me to ask you.
Well, I've got to have somebody to drive the car, 'cause I don't know how to drive that thing. So big and long, got so many of them gadgets on it, I'd never figure out how to run it in this world.
Well, Mama was feared it was just my idea to go along. See, I ain't got but $3 or $4, and Mama said she never thought that'd hardly cover the whole trip.
Well, now, don't you worry about that, Cedric. I told you I'm footing the bills for this whole trip. I got plenty of money. I'm loaded.
Well, that's exactly what Papa said.
Huh?
Mama never knowed whether to let me go or not, but Papa was up till 4 o'clock this morning packing my valise. Then he got up and dressed me and brought me down into the corner. Papa sure is nice. I like him better than Mama.
Yeah, he sure is nice. I'm just glad he ain't going along.
Well, here's my valise, Abner. Where do you want me to put it?
Oh, just throw it in the turtleneck there, Lum.
Turtleneck?
Yeah, that's what you call the back part of the car there. Lift up the lid and shove 'em in there.
I still don't think I ought to be going along with you, Abner. This is going to run you into right smart expense.
Oh, prattle.
Well, it is. You just don't realize, Abner.
I don't care. I want to get some fun out of my money. Besides, when Elizabeth called me from Kansas City, she said, whatever you do, don't come out here by yourself in that car. Said I'd get lost or wreck one just sure as the world.
Science is sure wonderful, ain't it?
Huh?
I mean about Miss Elizabeth calling you from Kansas City when she's on the train going to Las Vegas. What won't they study up next?
Well, she weren't on the train when she called me, Cedric. See, she had to get off there and change trains.
Oh, did something happen to the one she was on?
Not that I know of, no.
Well, what'd she change for then?
Well, because the one she was on weren't going to Las Vegas.
Well, what'd she get on it for then?
Well, dog it, I don't know, Cedric. Elizabeth was the one that got the tickets. You can ask her when we get out there to Las Vegas. She'll give you an answer of some kind for it.
What I don't understand is why she didn't wait there in Kansas City for you to catch up with her.
Well, she said the tickets was all bought and the valises was all on the train, and if she never got back on there to watch them, why, somebody'd steal them just sure as the world.
I thought maybe she'd turn around and come back when she discovered you jumped off of the train by mistake.
You don't know Elizabeth, Lum. She said she was going to Las Vegas, and I doggy, she's going.
Well, sir, I still don't understand why you jumped off the train. If you wasn't a sight standing there on the platform waving goodbye to yourself.
Well, I don't understand it neither, to be honest. When that train started, I just got so excited I never knowed what I was doing, I reckon.
I'm sorry if I'm late. I hope I haven't held things up.
Oh, hi, Ben.
No, you're right on time, Ben. Grandpappy Spears the one that's late. Might have figured on that.
You're sure now you don't mind giving me a lift? I won't be going far with you.
Well, you can go all the way with us if you want to.
Now, if I'm crowding you,
Oh, no, there's plenty of room, plenty, Ben.
How do you do, Mr. Ben?
Hello, Cedric.
This car here is
Thank you.
supposed to be a 7-passenger limousine, you know.
Nice young boy.
Why don't you go all the way to Las Vegas with us, Ben? We'll have a lot of fun out there.
Well, I'd enjoy it highly, Abner, but I just can't take that much time off. I'm going to visit friends for a couple of days and then back to the old harness.
Yeah, well, throw your hand satchel in the turtleneck there and find yourself a comfort seat.
Howdy, Mr. Ben.
Oh, hello, Cedric. I spoke to you, boy.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Ben spoke to you, Cedric.
I'll just hold my satchel on my lap. I guess I'll be getting out pretty quick. You want me in the front or the back?
Oh, take your choice. Sit any place you want to. Well, besides the steering wheel, Cedric's got to sit behind there because he's going to drive.
That sounds like an excellent arrangement.
Just wish that dad-blamed grandpap'd get here so we could get started. I don't know why.
Yonder
it
comes
is, but
Mr. Grandpap.
Huh? Where?
Right over there. He's right behind that dog of his'n.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't see him. That dog's the biggest one varmint in this town. I reckon he's come down to see Grandpap off. Hurry up here, Grandpap. We want to get going.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Give me a hand with this suitcase here, Cedric. Thing weighs a couple of tons.
What in the world have you got in it, Grandpap?
Yeah, bring a couple of sets of horseshoes. I thought we might want to have a game out there. Get down, Francis. Don't jump all over Abner.
Get down from here, Francis. Doggies might nigh knock me over. I just soon a mule would jump
Just
up on me.
being friendly's all, Abner. He likes you. That's the reason he's licking your face that way.
Well, I don't like
He can
him.
comb your hair for you.
Get away from here. Go on.
Did you know I was going along, Milford?
Why, no, Abner never told me. Proud to hear it, be.
Dog switched his tail, might I broke my shin bone. Get away
he's
from
stout.
me, Francis.
I'm not really going, just riding part way.
Well, come on, let's get in the car if we're going. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hit the road.
Gonna stop off and visit some friends.
Where do you want me and Francis to sit, Abner?
Oh, I don't care. Why don't you get in the back? You and Francis?
Yeah, Francis likes to be near a window,
Now,
if you
just
don't
wait
mind.
just a minute. Hold on, Grandpap. You ain't aiming on taking that big lummox clean out to Las Vegas, are you?
Oh, he'll be all right. He won't get homesick as long as I'm with him.
I don't care whether he gets homesick or not. We can't lug him along with us.
I don't know why not. You got plenty of room. It's a 7-passenger car, ain't it?
Well, yes, but...
What's the matter with you, Abner? Ain't Francis good enough for you since you got all that money?
It ain't that, Grandpap.
Francis is pedigreed, you know.
I don't care what he is.
Fact is, he's pedigreed in about 6 different brands. He's part hound, part sheepdog, and Great Dane, and Sam Bernard, and Doberman pinchers, and peaked knees, and...
You call them knees peaking? Looks like he's wearing sun guards. Look at the
Get
size
in,
of that.
Francis. No, get in the front seat with Cedric
Now, wait
and
just
Abner.
a minute now, Grandpap.
He'd
Get
be
out
good
of
for
there.
picking up the trail in case you get lost, Abner.
Oh, me.
Oh, he's a good varmint dog. Start the motor, Cedric. Let's hit this 7-legged road.
Francis, get your head out of the window. I can't even see the scenery. Grandpap, don't you think Francis could sit in the back seat for a while?
Oh, he's all right, Abner. Don't worry about Francis. He's enjoying himself.
It ain't Francis I'm worried about. It's me.
He's all right, Abner.
Certainly nice country all in through here.
Yeah, things look good.
I wonder if we're on the right road, though.
Oh, yeah, I've checked it on the road map here a dozen times. I'm sure this is right.
Are we on the right road, Abner?
I don't know, ass Lum. He's watching the map first. According to me, we're on a brown and white dog here. That's all I can see.
It's right, Ben. I know it is.
Francis, will you please move over? Am I crowding you too much, Cedric? Can you drive all right?
Yes, Mom, I'm doing fine, I think.
Oh, Cedric driving?
Gonna have to stop for gas, though, pretty soon. This car sure eats up the gas, though.
Yeah, well, if I weren't rich now, I wouldn't have such a big car. Get away.
53 miles to Hotel Radcliffe, 300 rooms.
Country looks good through here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, Ben. Prosperous. Mail pouch tobacco.
Nice farmland.
Good tobacco, too. Yeah, good looking.
Shut up, Francis. Get out of here. Doggies.
I think he was barking at a cow.
I don't care what he'd like to scared me to death. You see the size of that mouth? I could have jumped in it.
How far have we gone, Abner?
I don't know, quite a ways. You better holler when we get to where you want to get off, Ben.
Fine.
Who is it you're going to visit, Ben? Soft Shoulders.
Mawson Galt.
Never heard of that town.
Second cousin to Clarence Zinkafus.
Well, that's nice.
Mawson is in the cuff button game.
Cuff button game.
Fine.
It's scratchy whiskers.
He makes cufflinks out of highly polished pumpkin seeds.
Scratch your face.
The only trouble with them,
Put him in
they have a tendency
his proper place.
to sprout during the rainy season.
Burma shave.
Francis, get your snoot out of my pocket. Grandpap, get this dog away from me. He's eating up my sweet potato.
Oh, that's all right, Abner. They won't hurt him.
Dog.
Love, if you want me to, I'll get Mawson to make you a nice pair of cuff buttons.
Might as well have come out to Las Vegas under a fur rug.
And you can have them with your initials or just plain.
Oklahoma City, 105 miles. Well, we'll have to go by
City.
there.
My stars, aren't we going an awful roundabout way?
I don't know, ask Lum. He's watching the map, Francis.
This is the most directest route we could take.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know I've never gone to Mount Ida this way before.
Mount Ida?
Fine. I'm going to visit Mawson Galt there.
Well, for pity's sakes, Mount Ida's cleaning the other direction. Did you hear that, Abner?
Yeah, I heard it. Why didn't you say where you wanted to go, Ben?
Fine.
Stop the car, Cedric. Doggers, I don't know what to do. Now get
Yes,
away
Bob.
from here, Francis.
Granny, you're a long ways from Mount Ida now. What do you want us to do? Take you on into the next town so you can catch a bus back?
Oh, no, that'll take too long. I'll just get out here and hitchhike a ride.
Oh, no, we can't let you do that, Ben. We'll turn around and take you back.
No. I couldn't let you do that. Wouldn't think of it. I'll get out right here.
Well, now, Ben.
No, this is just fine. You fellas have a nice time in Las Vegas. Send me a postcard.
Yeah, we will, Ben.
Good luck, Ben.
Oh, wait a minute. Almost forgot something.
Stop the car, Cedric. Yeah, what is it, Ben? What's the trouble?
You forgot to tell me, Lum. Which do you want Mawson to make you, the plain or initial cuff links?
Well, which kind is least liable to sprout during the rainy season? Will Ben ever make it to Mount Ida? And what else can go wrong with Abner's trip to Las Vegas? Now, I wonder how many of you folks sometimes eat more than you should. Well, it's often a temptation, especially when your favorite dish is on the table. And say, here's something I hope you'll remember. On those occasions when you do overeat and acid indigestion is the result, be wise, alkalize with Alka-Seltzer. Yes, let Alka-Seltzer be your way to easy, pleasant, really fast and effective relief. You'll find that Alka-Seltzer helps to ease that upset, jittery feeling in your stomach and acts to reduce excess gastric acidity in a hurry. Yes, in almost no time, that stuffy, uncomfortable feeling in your stomach has disappeared. So remember, it's never wise to overeat. But when you do, be wise, alkalize with Alka-Seltzer.
Don't take chances on getting all the essential vitamins you need from the food you eat. Remember this. Government surveys show that the meals of 3 out of 4 persons are short on vitamins. Don't take chances. Instead, take one-a-day brand multiple vitamins. Lack of vitamins in your food can cause you to feel under par and run down. Don't take chances. Instead, take one-a-day brand multiple vitamins. 60 capsules, 2 months supply, only $2 at any drugstore. Potency guaranteed by Miles Laboratories. Lack of vitamins in your food can keep you from feeling your best and looking your best. You can't afford to take chances. Take one-a-day brand multiple vitamin capsules.
Listen every day, Monday through Friday at this time for Lum and Abner down in Pine Ridge, brought to you by the makers of Alka-Seltzer. Now, listen to it fizz. That's Alka-Seltzer's way of wishing you real relief from the miserable discomfort of a nagging headache. Ask your druggist for Alka-Seltzer now if you have a headache and see how much better it can make you feel. Gene Baker speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Give you a big hint. Ben Withers never makes it to Mount Ida. What happens, you won't believe. Anyway, and if you want to get these episodes of Lum and Abner, you can get them from Ted at radiomemories.com, radiomemories.com. September 13th, 1948, Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back in a few days with more Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.